My name is Margaret Ann Windsor. I just did this last tape, which would actually have got on at 3. The first tape I did yesterday was hijacked or something. I don't know what happened to it. It went up and then it and it was on, and then it came back that it had been rejected, and then it wasn't there. So I want to continue without losing people. I put all this on, and I say it again, former videos, Facebook. I've gone to the media. You know, it's unreal that it's happened in plain sight with everybody knowing. I'm talking about law enforcement, media, knew about my kidnapping before me. I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and my father was King Edward VIII. My mother, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor from Madison, Wisconsin. They were legally wed. My mom would be considered a commoner, which was okay with the British people, but it was the Windsor family and the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, and Joseph Kennedy. Roosevelt, the president, was real close with the Kennedys. He appointed him ambassador, and of course, the Kennedys wanted a war between Ireland and Great Britain, England, or the UK. For some reason, like the Americans, they come to believe that anything British belonged to them for some reason. So for my father to marry my mom, an O'Keefe, Irish-American, Catholic, oh wow, that might possibly bring some Irish and British closer together. Couldn't have that, could you, Kennedys, and the New World Order, or Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. So anyway, they took down my father illegally. Everything was a lie. That's what is so hard to comprehend. With all the books that were written of lies about my father, even photographs of him changed. Never mentioned my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, their marriage, me, the heir to the British crown, and I am, legally. My uncle took it over, the Kennedys. He joined with the Kennedys in the New World Order. Elizabeth and Charles, by the way, are members, and they have been filmed when everybody's locked out in its closed session for the Illuminati, New World Order, while Elizabeth and Charles are right there. So what's their position there? They sold out Great Britain. They helped kidnap me, the real monarch. Her father did, and she's done the same thing. She's tried to keep it quiet. And she certainly didn't help me when the state of Virginia paid for Elizabeth to come to, and she came through Roanoke or close, paid her in '07 when the shootings at Virginia Tech, which is nearby and was mind control, was done. And the odd thing, I've been telling about mind control. I wrote about it in '77, and Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville near Marietta, where I was had done the book and was doing the book. And I was telling about programming back when nobody told about it, and mind control. But I was forced to come up here in Roanoke in October of '86, and I continued. The murders continued, and they were done in patterns. And yes, the agency, I know who did it. But, and people are afraid of it. So there's a lot of the murders that, using mind control and the patterns, happened at Virginia Tech. But besides the mass murders, April the 16th of '07, the Fort Hood shooter was the psychiatrist out there that, I guess he's on death row now. He didn't know he was programmed. He finished school at Tech, Virginia Tech. It's about 45 miles from here. And he went on to Harvard, I believe, to get his MD and become a psychiatrist. But the point is that there were a number of murders that's connected to, done through mind control and in the patterns. But people, you even had Virginia Tech students going to Elizabeth while she was in Virginia. She went to Williamsburg and Richmond and went before the state Senate. I mean, you got me up on Full Heart Knob, starving. I'd frozen everything in the book. And telling all this, people knew that I didn't make it up. I couldn't. I always had stuff on me. You can't make it and stuff up. Yet they just wanted me dead. And do you think Elizabeth has ever, she's using my money, living in my homes, and she's given away my country, and people think she's terrific because she's using my money to make herself look good. Charity, that's my money. I could have used a little charity along the way while I was freezing and being murdered and antifreeze and you name it put into me here because of my name, Margaret Ann Windsor Victoria II. So it's hideous that it's been allowed to continue. Now then, I wanted to get into what I saw yesterday, and I probably, and it was deleted somehow. I don't know. It went up and now it's not there anymore. But it was the first part of it, and I'm just going to put this as its number 4. I looked up after all I've put on YouTube and Facebook and turned over to the media and everything. Lo and behold, I put on public broadcasting, and which is Blue Ridge here, and the channel, and they had this documentary about John F. Kennedy. And they went back and they actually told what I've been telling in the documentary about Kennedy being ambassador to Great Britain, appointed by Roosevelt. Only it was odd. They didn't touch on the truth. They made it sound like they were heroes. Told about JFK going and Joe Jr. going over, and actually in the House of Commons. And, I mean, like they took over the government then with their father. He was ambassador. I mean, it's so ludicrous. And then JFK wrote the book While England Slept. I could keep going. It was appalling to listen to it and know that they were telling right here what I have put out on video the last 2 months, really the last month, about the Kennedy boys helping their father. They had to have helped on my kidnapping. They flew, were pilots. I don't know how they dropped me off in Moulton, Alabama. My uncle gave them access, and Kennedy, Roosevelt, the New World Order, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, that control the press and everything right now. But Cortland Air Base during the war was built near Moulton, Alabama, in Cortland, Alabama. My only thing is I don't know how they brought me across the pond and put me in this hellhole over there, but the air base was close to there. Now, I don't know who actually flew me in there or if I was flown in. I don't know how they got me there, but it certainly makes sense. The Kennedy boys were knee-deep in it, and John Kennedy really had it going. Well, there was mind control and programming used in his murder, and the Warren Commission covered it up because if they told the truth, they'd have to tell about his dad's participation in my kidnapping, the monarch, and heck, they're going in and trying to take over Great Britain by installing their own monarch, George VI, illegally, who did treaties that allowed the American military all over British soil. And by the way, that's when the war was declared against Germany. So the United States, it made it sound like they were going in and helping Great Britain, which is a crock. And I'm going to leave it there if the truth ever is told. Nobody wants to hear it. Certainly how they've done me and my sons, Mark and Scott, and how they've used the British soldiers to fight for them, which is ludicrous in itself. But back to, I was watching that documentary, and I thought, my God, they've left out all the truth. They've painted it a lie, made the Kennedys out to be heroes, and they're showing Jackie, they're showing him. By the way, I think I put this on the tape that was